I think a lot of people thought that wholesale is dead and that e-com wholesale is dead. I think the opposite is true. It's quite active.
Hi everyone, I'm Alessia from Tradebyte and we're here today at ECD Premium Milano with Dr. Achim Berg. Hi Achim, a pleasure to have you here. It's really an honor to have you here.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
In our latest Tradebyte luxury report that we worked together, you described 2026 as a hangover moment for luxury. The volumes are a bit down, the prices went up, and the consumers are not always fascinated. If the party is over, what is one concrete thing that brands should do now to come out of this phase?
Well, I would argue that the party is not over, but the party is taking a pause. And you take a bit of a rest. You try to get some new energy, to have some new ideas how the party could continue. You probably get some new drinks and some snacks. And I think that is what the industry needs to do now. I think that they need to go back to the roots. They need to go back to craft, to authenticity. They need to rethink some of the prices, because we clearly have, a bit of an exaggeration on that end. And I think with that package, they need to go back to the market and they need to rebuild some trust with the customers.
You've said that brands dreamt of pure direct-to-consumer, but the reality brought them back to platforms and wholesale. And if you were advised a mid-sized luxury brand today, what would it be your ideal channel mix for 2026?
Well, I think it heavily depends on the size of the business. It depends on the maturity of the business. But I think it's now common knowledge that it's very hard to build a brand purely on direct to consumer. I think a lot of people thought that wholesale is dead and that e-com wholesale is dead. I think the opposite is true. It's quite active, and in particular in a market environment where you need to be close to the consumer, where you need to have a more curated and targeted offer. I think it's important. And if you only cover certain categories, it's great to sit next to other brands that are complementary. And it's great to work with professional partners. So in that sense, you can of course dream the dream of direct to consumer and full control. And let's be honest, a lot will continue dreaming that dream. But in the current market environment, some pragmatism helps, and therefore having a mix of idly own wholesale and e-com wholesale is probably a good strategy to make it out of the soft environment we're currently in.
One last question to wrap up. If you have to keep just one piece of your wardrobe this year, what would it be and why?
Well, I think we're all thinking about downsizing our wardrobes. We rarely do it. Given that I'm in Italy, I would probably keep this Bolioli suit. Yeah, it's one of my favorite pieces. It can be formal, it can be casual, and it has a very nice Italian, flow. So that would be my choice of today.
Thank you. Definitely Italian touch. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.